my boy Billy Griffin Jr. Let's go. Legends of Baltimore, legends of Baltimore, known all over the world. Legends of Baltimore, legends of Baltimore, known all over the world. Legends of Baltimore, legends of Baltimore. Ooh, legends of Baltimore, legends of Baltimore, known all over the world.
Hey, I'm here in Edgewater, Maryland, with one of the baddest bass players in the land, Mr. Kevin Walker. Kevin, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. How about yourself?
I'm good, man.
Thank y'all for having me.
Well, listen, this is the beginning of the new Legends of Baltimore TV series. Kevin was with me when we did the Legends of Baltimore documentary. I actually recorded in the...
Yeah, we did it in another part of the house at the studio.
Okay.
Yep.
But Kevin has been phenomenal in helping and assisting me with this Legends, because the Legends is about introducing people to the musicians from Baltimore who've gone on to do great things. Kevin, tell us a little bit about your history.
Well, I started at around 14 years old, getting serious about bass guitar, but I actually started playing music when I was a lot younger, like in third grade. I started off on flute and alto saxophone. So I did each one of them for 1 year. And once I got into sixth grade, I kind of left it. And then when I got to high school, the 80s was coming in, everybody was getting into the bass guitar. So,
Hey, Kev, good question for you.
okay.
How did you meet Dennis and Skeets and all of them?
Okay, let's talk about that. So I met Dennis and Skeet and all those guys as a youngster. They were playing around town with Baltimore Funk Connection, and there was a group called Hot Ice Skeet played for, and there was a group called Uncle Remus, and man, they had a lot of great bands around, and I used to go around and check these guys out at the park, you know, when I could. I was real young, but they had big reputations. And then I got to see Skeet play with George Clinton, and that kind of blew my mind. And when I saw Skeet play, I said, I want to play bass like him. Mm. And I went out and got a bass like his. Actually, a friend of mine bought me one I was playing with, because I used to always play with a lot of older guys. I kind of started at 14, but I was playing with Wilson Pickett by the time I was 14 and a half, 15 years old. So I only played for a year before I was considered to be professional. So I know it was a quick stint, but it's just like I kind of knew the bass. And this guy bought me a bass, like Skeets.
14 years old.
Yep.
How did your mom let you go with Wilson Pickett?
So I was playing in the school band in my high school at that time. And the guy, Mr. James Pope, who was a principal, actually he was a school teacher, Mr. Pope, at Green Spring Junior High School. I played bass for his variety band. He had a Soul Explosion band, and they played at all of the what do you call those things?
Union halls.
They were the union halls, yeah, because they were fraternity brothers, you know what I mean? So Masons. So we do all the Mason stuff. So that's how I kind of got started. And what happened was his brother played trumpet for Wilson Pickett, who was the musical director. And the bass player that they had at the time got sick, and they needed a bass player. And they had to leave the next day. And I just happened to be playing with James, and we did all the Wilson Pickett songs, and James Brown, and everybody under the sun. And the guy came in and heard me play. He said, man, I wonder if I can get this guy to play bass for me tomorrow. We need a bass player right now. Mm. He said, you think your mother let you go? I said, yeah, I think so. So he took me on back to my house, went up and talked to my mother, gave it a whole smooth, yeah. You know, we want him to play for Wilson Pickett. She said, you kidding me? Wilson Pickett? No, y'all stop playing with me. She didn't believe it. Mm-hmm. But he convinced her that was real. And I went to Texas that next day and never looked back after that. After that, I was playing with Wilson Pickett every weekend when I was in high school, a lot of the weekends.
A high school kid playing with the bad Mr. Wilson Pickett. Wait till the midnight hour, Mr. Wilson
Yes,
Pickett.
sir. 99 and a half won't do.
99 and a half.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
That was a good one.
I'm in love. All that.
Oh yeah, that was good. So you started off with Wilson Pickett.
Yeah.
And somehow or another you got around to Justin Timberlake and Prince and Patti LaBelle and all those. How did that happen?
It's real funny because when you're in the industry, I was just ready to play. So I never really thought about what I did. If somebody wanted to play, I wanted to play. They needed a bass player, I wanted to play. So I was playing with a lot of local groups, that I got to give them some credit that really helped hone me in. A guy named Rodney Willie, and we had a band called the Silver Chase Band, which is out of Baltimore. And so as I kept moving around in different circles, I just kept meeting more people. And at that time, bass was real prominent. So, there's a lot of musicians everywhere. It was musicians everywhere. And I just kind of gravitated towards the scene. And the more musicians you know, it's kind of like the more chances you have a chance of getting out there and somebody hearing you play, like in my case. I hung around. I was blessed to be able to hang around some of the best in Baltimore from the generations. I used to sneak down to the Sportsman's Lounge down in Baltimore.
Sportsman's Lounge?
The Sportsman's Lounge.
It's no longer in existence.
Yes, no longer in existence. Right up on Gwynn Oak in Liberty Heights. And I would go down there and listen to, all the greats like Mickey Fields and his sister Minnie Fields and Lady Rebecca.
You've been working with so many different people in Baltimore. Tell me what you're doing now.
Well, right now I've been doing a lot of producing. I'm playing with a lot of people. I'm working with a group called Miles Deep, which has Justin Miles, Myles. He was in the musical Stomp, where they do a lot of the tap dancing. And she's a great guitar player and lead guy and songwriter. So we've been producing some stuff with him. Not too long ago, I did some production for some advertising with Jermaine Lethbridge for her I Know brand. And we co-wrote some music for her, some of her items. It turned out really, really well. I was really happy with that. And as of right now, I've been in the studio doing a lot of recordings and things of that nature, and also kind of recapping my career right now, in that meaning that I've gotten so much stuff over the years. I'm taking some time now to clean up everything, kind of update everything, and move to the next phase. So this is a cleanup time at this, where I'm at in my time right now. So
you got a great studio. It's downstairs, right?
Yes.
And you do recording down there. You got a recording booth. You got drums, area for your drums. Your studio is maxed out. Tell me, you did some work with a new guy, Brian.
You're talking about Brian McNair?
Brian McNair, yeah.
Yeah, Brian McNair, local guy. Yes, I had the pleasure of him coming over, and he asked me. He had written a song, and we decided to go into the studio and just kind of co-write. He came up with the lyrics. What's the name of it? Bet You Don't.
Bet You Don't.
This is where I want to be.
Oh, this is
where I want to be. Yes,
okay,
this is where I want to be. And we got together on that, and I had the pleasure just him coming down. It's a really good hot house song. He just let that out last year. Yeah. So yeah. So it was just a pleasure working with him, and he wrote some stuff, and we just kind of went in and just had that chemistry. This guy is a great songwriter, a good producer, another Baltimore, and you keep your eyes up for him.
Yeah, you're doing a lot of work. Some of the guys I've seen you working with, Ronnie Kelly Jr., some of the guys you're working with, the saxophonist, Eugene Chapman.
Yeah.
You work with some big heavyweights. Man.
Oh man, Baltimore again has just a plunder of great musicians, but Eugene Chapman is a good friend of mine. I've been knowing him for many years, and we've done a lot of projects together, including my Jazz Chronicles, where we do kind of like a chronological respect to some of the old music and put a new twist on it. And we do it live, and people really like it. So we're working on that project. So we'll have a couple of old things on it and some new stuff. So that's coming up. And I also have a group called the Chronicles of Soul, where we do a lot of 80s music and 90s music, which is also popular because like we come from old school. We play really instruments, real people, no AI, you know what I mean? So with that, we have to play the music that caters to that time.
No AI, that's real important.
Yeah.
So now when you're playing the music, you're playing the organic sound.
Yeah, we're playing the actual frequencies out of the instrument, you know, and everybody's singing, you know what I mean? Me coming from the school I've come from, what made music so special was the actual being there with somebody and sharing their ideas, your ideas, and creating moments. So today you try to control moments, but back then we would just create a moment and we never knew what was going to happen next. And if it was magical, you know, we embraced it. If it wasn't magical, we embraced it. But what we did, we were able to feed off of each other and create something very unique, which today a lot of people create themselves and play by themselves and or use fake machines and things like that. So it's not as organic, and it doesn't have, I don't think it has the spiritual communication and the authenticity.
The feel, the sound,
exactly.
when you hit a note, hit a bass.
Yeah, it's like, you know, hit this note like in real time. You know, that just happened just in there. I can't, you know.
Magic.
Yeah, you can't. It's magic. Exactly. That
Yeah.
I can't do that again because I don't know what I just did.
You don't know what you just did. So I just came out. That's what the music is all about. Young people today, they don't really have the experience of, like back in the day, they had this thing called Operation Champ. You remember that?
I remember that. Yes.
You ever experience?
I used to see them. Yeah, I used to go down there and watch them put up stages down in Drew Hill Park and on people's streets back when I was like 4 and 5 years old. That was kind of like around, I want to say like around 1970, maybe 70, 69, 1970. And I would go out and hear them all the time. So
it happened right after Martin Luther King was assassinated, right after the riots, and they wanted to do something to appease the black community, you know, to calm us down. They say music soothes the savage beast. I mean, we're not savage beasts, but we was kind of savage back then.
Yeah, it was a very tough time, and I remember the atmosphere at that time. And I also remember being on the news when we went to Drill Hill Park, and the police department wanted to film us because we were some of the first blacks to go, and there was a lot of racial tension. And I believe Drill Hill Park actually shut down because of
the whole city shut down.
Yeah,
the whole city shut down. But that was a whole nother era. But we kind of went back to the era. It feels like we're back in the '60s now.
Well, you know, they say that the music kind of goes around every 20 years. So a little example that would be the way Marvin Gaye was when he was back in the early '70s, and maybe comparison to when somebody like Maxwell came out. When Maxwell came out, he had a Marvin Gaye style with the leather, and it was just like a modern day soul brother kind of vibe. Well, that was 20 years ago. So if you look at it, it came back today. Now we're another 20 years later.
October London.
Exactly.
You know.
Bruno Mars.
Bruno Mars.
Yes.
Oh man, Bruno Mars, man. You know, I don't even talk about it. And you know, I was doing some Ubering, and some young people got in my car, and they called Bruno Mars the old guy. I was like, dang, Bruno Mars is old.
Yeah, I guess he is. But you know, I got to give it to the young people. I mean, they're just so brilliant. They got a lot of ideas. They can remember like elephants on steroids. And, you know, I just tip my hat. I'm always trying to keep up with them and keeping up with the YouTubes and everything. Any social media platform they have, I try to stick up and stay as relevant as I can, but it's hard.
You know, you just came back from the motherland. Tell me a little bit about that trip.
Yeah, I went to Egypt. I went over to Egypt. Went over there actually as for vacation. And it was very interesting. I had an anniversary over there. And my wife went there, and it was a very interesting experience. I mean, I found out through my son that we could be descendants of Ramses in this DNA that we did on ourselves. So it was interesting to go back and see what he was like, the Ramses III, they said particularly. But once I got over there, I learned they had about 13 dynasties of Ramses. So you can't be from one without being the other. So I'm like, well, if I came from Ramses the third, how come I didn't come from Ramses the fourth? You know what I mean? You ask little stuff like that. So it's funny, but it still was interesting. And Egypt was wonderful, and it's a great trip.
What was it like to be on the Nile River?
It was real surreal because it's very quiet over there, and I actually got to you may have seen it on Facebook. I put on there where they claimed that Moses was put in a basket. They took me to the exact spot where he did it. It's still there to this day, and right in that area. And we saw some Nubians, and which are some of the original Egyptians that lived there, and they're still there, believe it or not, living off of the Nile River, and they have. It's amazing because I got a little sick over there, but because of the food and the water, but they are used to it. And it's really amazing to see somebody that's used to a climate and you're not, and they're so normal and so healthy in it, but yet, you're not careful, you get really sick.
We could die.
Yeah.
We could die from drinking the water. So Kevin, right now, what's the future for Kevin Walker?
Here's what I'm doing now. I'm looking more towards producing music, and I'm looking more towards possibly opening up a club. I've been thinking really hard about opening up I like to do a nice entertainment complex here that's done with the musicians in mind, local musicians, where we can come in and build up talent and kind of keep a good flow of great entertainment without all the politics that come with music today. That's a goal of mine right now. I think it's necessary, and I think it would be a lot of fun. I'm playing a lot, but now we need a place to actually show the talent so people that have the talent can be seen and appreciated on stage.
Not long ago, you were doing something in the school system.
What was that? Let's see. I did a couple of things. Yeah, we were doing a tour where we were going around talking about our careers and just motivating kids that want to get into the arts, trying to bring the arts back and trying to get kids' interest back in school other than academics and try to deal with some of the arts, which they were trying to take out of the school system. I think arts is the arts, being music or arts and crafts or whatever you do, when you're using your creative mind is essential in building people's intellect. And if they're mathematicians, or if you're a mathematician, if you play an instrument, you're a mathematician if you can draw somebody's face. You have to remember that you have a concept of sight and things of that nature and seeing dimension. So I'm a big advocate of that. So we did do the tour, and it was a lot of fun. We did a lot of elementary schools for the Baltimore City Schools.
That was good. I saw some of that on YouTube as well.
Yeah.
We come into this era now. This is 2025, and we come out of the 1900s. We old. Back when you was in school, music was important. Bands were everywhere. What would you tell the school board today about how they can incorporate music again back into their curriculum?
I think they can use music to come back into the curriculum by using music as something that we brought up earlier, just to communicate with people in real time, opposed to dealing with people on cell phones and talking over the internet and being controlled by computers, matrix, and just being by yourself and not having developmental communication skill to talk to people and share moments with people. I think that's just essential right now, and I think the kids need that. Because I find today that with some of the kids, they don't really know you. It takes you a little time to break into their world, and everybody's so diversified because everybody's pretty much into their phones, and they kind of create their own world. Not that that's a bad thing, but we need to all come together. And I think music is the perfect forum for that.
Yeah, that's the perfect union, because when music to me is ear food, ear candy. When I hear music, I can float with the sound. I can float with the frequencies that you talk about. What's some of your favorite artists that kind of influenced you?
Oh man, I mean, this is really, really deep. can maybe start with when I was coming up. My mom listened to a lot of Lou Rawls, Dionne Warwick, Aretha Franklin, you know what I mean? And my mother loved Mahalia Jackson, and she listened to a lot of organ music, like one album called Cornbread Earl and Me. And,
that was a great movie.
Yeah.
That's Lawrence Fishburne. He was me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. And there's a couple. I can't remember this particular organ player right now. It's not coming to my head, but you know, we'd always had jazz playing in the house. So, you know, I'll start there. So I started with that. Then, of course, I went into the Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder, major influence. A lot of Quincy Jones's music, just kind of going up. Wilson Pickett's music. I love soul music because my sister had all the records at that time. We all had the 45s and the 33s.
Oh, you going old school now? The
Yeah,
45s, 33s.
Yes, sir. Had the little disc that went inside. You know, so I went through all that, and then I had an uncle who was a jazz player. So that kind of got me into jazz. So I started listening to a lot of Miles Davis. My mom loved Miles Davis, so listening to jazz. So we had a lot of variety of music going in my family all the time. And then I got into, like, I want to say the super funk stuff when I got to the bass, around 14. Then I started getting into jazz fusion, which is like Weather Report and rock. I got to rock really heavy, you know, and my sister was into like Fleetwood Mac and all this stuff. So I listened to all that. So I had a great surrounding of all kinds of music.
So that would call you, what would they call that? When you listen to all different genres, I forgot.
Virtuoso, in terms of listening to all the genres of music.
Yeah. But you gravitated toward the bass.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite bass players?
Wow, that is very difficult. But I'll say that one of the first was Larry Graham. Definitely was one of my first. Stanley Clarke, Marcus Miller, Anthony Jackson. I know I'm going to forget a lot of people because there's so many great bass players. Alphonso Johnson, Jaco Pastorius for sure. You know, Victor Bailey, Ron Carter, a couple of upright bass players that I always loved. I love to check out from some of, you know, my jazz guys that were really straight ahead cats. And but that was pretty much the meat of it right there. Louis Johnson for the funk years. You know, and then later I got into the Yellow Jackets, Jeff Lober, and all this jazz, smooth jazz. And I started listening to a lot of Najee, and that's how I became his musical director, because I was listening to all this other jazz. So I listened to a lot of music, every gospel music, a whole lot of that, although I wasn't raised in the church. I play in a lot of it now, but I wasn't.
You playing in churches now?
Yeah, I do some church. I'm at Guilford Baptist Church playing bass right now for them, and that's been a pleasure. I've been there a couple of years.
Okay.
And before that, I was playing in D.C. at Springfield Baptist Church, and I was there for about maybe 15 years.
Ooh.
You know, I wasn't known to play gospel bass, but I'm playing it now.
So you talked about Larry Graham. He started off with Sly, right?
Yeah, it was Sly and the Family Stone. Yeah.
Yeah. So give me a Larry Graham.
Oh man, let's see. Yeah. You remember that?
Yeah.
By Harry? Yeah.
Yeah, people ask me everywhere.
Yes, sir. What you gonna do with all that hair? So I had the pleasure of touring with Larry, with Prince, when we were the Funky Ballheads. So
Larry Graham and Prince on tour together?
Yep.
Oh,
he was playing bass for tour on the Hit and Run tour. Him and Roger Smith. And we were opening up for Prince, and Prince would come out and play with us and open his show.
Wow.
But he allowed us to open up his show. So
wow.
That's how I got up on stage with Prince.
Wow.
And the Funky Ballheads was a group by his one of his best friends, Kirk Johnson. And Prince allowed us to use the studio and use to rehearse and to record. And he loved the music, so he gave us an opportunity to come on out and tour with us. So we did the Hit and Run tour. And the bad thing about it, that year they had 911 and kind of canceled the tour.
Wow.
So that could have been a really great tour that got knocked off. That could travel for years.
Wow.
Talk about like,
that was crazy.
Yeah.
911. That's another big
a whole
thing.
nother thing. Yeah.
That's a whole other thing. Well, listen, Kevin, thank you for being here. But listen, I'm asking you now in front of everybody on the camera. Can you like host this show?
Absolutely, man. We talking about that.
Yeah.
I'd love to sit down and really, I know what the people want to hear. I think I got some ideas that people want to hear the real stuff. So
yeah, the business of music.
Business of music. Yeah. I want to hear about what I'd really like to share is some of the people who've actually come out of here too that have done great things. There's a lot of people that people need to notice here that if you see them, they could maybe help you in the business.
Wow.
Because a lot of people, unfortunately, they don't know. You have like Tony Braxton's from here. You have Dennis Chambers from here. You have, Skeet played all the stuff with George Clinton. Mm-hmm. You got James Carter, who wrote the stuff for Teddy Pendergrass and Wawa LeGrand. A lot of people here that, I think need to be, appreciated while you get flowers, as they say.
Well, while I got you here, I've been trying to get her. Maybe you could get her. Maybe she'll sit down with you. You know what I'm talking about?
We talk about Topaz. Topaz, a really, really dear friend of mine. Yes. When I was coming up, she was working with Evelyn King and with Rick James. So at that time, she was kind of guiding me through the business because she was really hot and she was just doing a whole lot of things. She ended up getting snatched up by Teddy Riley. And they had a song called Right Height, which was a big hit. And she was one of the first producers, female groups produced by Teddy Riley. So she is the icon female New Jack Swing artist.
Okay, New Jack Swing. Oh, that's a whole nother genre.
Yeah, well, she was part of that, opening up for the female side of it.
Okay.
That represents Baltimore. So again, we got a lot of people to talk about. I can go on and on. Vaughn Mason, great friend of mine.
Vaughn Mason.
Bass player, had a rock skate from Baltimore. All that kind of stuff.
That you played at the skating ring, they was.
Oh yeah. They were getting it. Yeah. So, he's a good friend of mine. So got tons of stories with him. He's from here. It's a lot of people. So hopefully we can get that show and let's do it, man. Let's do it. Let's really get it out there and let people know where things are going and what you can do now.
So let people know where they can find Kevin Walker.
Well, right now you can find me on Instagram, Kevin Walker _Walker38 @gmail. Okay. You can catch me there and you can catch me on, that's the best place to catch me. So.
Instagram?
Yep.
But you on Facebook?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook.
You on YouTube?
I'm on YouTube too. You can check a couple clips out on YouTube. But whole history of stuff on there.
Yeah, they got big list of all the people you played with.
It's funny. I look on it. It's amazing how YouTube keeps your history like that. So I'm blessed to have it out there. So you can go through and see. There's actually a couple videos out there with me playing at about 19 years old.
Ooh.
Yep.
Wow. So. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Kevin Walker. Kevin,
thanks for having me.
Can you play us out with something?
Oh, man, here we go. Let's see.
Everybody, Mr. Kevin Walker.
Hey, let me do this. Let's do that last part to get my bass out too. Can you do that?
Yeah.
The last part. You told me to do something out. Say, bring something out. What can I put out? I'll do that one.
Yeah, okay.
That's Skeet.
That's Skeet's bass line?
Yeah, that's his bass line. He did help us on the way.
Okay.
Remember that? My man Skeet, if he heard me play it, he's like, yep, it's something like that. That's what he said.
Skeet, we gotta get Skeets. Maybe you can interview Skeets as well.
Yes, sir, man.
That'd
We definitely gonna have him on the show.
That'd be great. And Dennis.
And Dennis. And Granger.
Yeah, and the Granger brothers.
Yeah, man, those guys, man. So many. I'm looking forward to it. So let's do it.
Okay. Everybody, Mr. Kevin Walker. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, talking about them legends of Baltimore, yo. Woo. So many of them. Billy Holiday, Cab Calloway, Drew Hill, Madhouse, and my boy Billy Griffin Jr. Let's go.